G'day Reefers, I'm Cam the Fish Guy. Welcome to Aquatica TV. On Aquatica TV, we often show you lots of really cool reef tanks, but what we don't often show you is exactly how we go about filling them up at the start. So today is all about how to fill your reef tank, and we've got an awesome Red Sea Reefer 525 that we're going to show you, and we're going to show you how we fill it up. So we've got everything that we need for the job in the van, and we're going to start with a few towels. And we're going to lay the towels down to make sure we don't make any sort of a mess. Now let's go inside and we'll check out this Reefer 525. So check it out. Brand new Red Sea Reefer 525, isn't it beautiful? And the client has even put the scape in and the sand as well. So it's all good to go. We're going to lay down some towels so we don't make a mess, and we'll show you the features of this tank before we fill it up. So we'll have a bit of a look at the tank before we set up our hoses to fill it up. As you can see, the Reefer 525 is a rimless tank. It's got a twin outlet with the returns up the top here with the overflow covered. It's a very sleek, beautiful tank. The cabinet comes in black or white. Now let's look inside the cabinet and we'll check out the plumbing, because the plumbing on this G2 525 is one of the features of this tank. Let's check it out. So here we go. Now I'll just quickly run you through the plumbing on this Red Sea. So the main drain is here with the gate valve, and gate valves are a particularly good system for tuning the overflow because they've got particularly fine adjustment. So we've got the main drain here, we've got a secondary drain just behind it, and the return pump sits in this back right hand section and pumps up to both of the outlets that we looked at up the top. Now in this first section, you've got, it comes with the filter socks, but they are designed to accommodate the Red Sea reef mat. The water flows through into this section here, which is typically used as a refugium. So this is lit up. The section behind is for the skimmer, and then there's some biological media here, and as we said before, the return pump pumping back up to the top. So they're a really neat system, and as I said, the plumbing is one of the features. It's this beautiful red and black, and it looks so good. We'll have a look in the next section of the cabinet to the right. There's not as much going on in there, but you can see there's a good section for a chiller potentially, dosing vessels, that sort of thing. Of course, the new Red Sea reef cans have come out, so you can have your RO reservoir sectioned here. They're very space efficient, which is the beauty of them, but this is the section of the 525 that you can do that sort of thing with. So this is the tank. Let's show you how we fill it up. So we'll go back out to the van and we'll get our hoses and equipment set up to fill with natural seawater. So I'll show you exactly what equipment we use for this job. Now, first of all, the pump that we use is a Davey 171S, and we've got it set up so that it has cam locks, female on the outlet, a male on the intake, and we use cam locks for all of our equipment. So the rest of the hosing is all 25 mil with majority of male cam locks. And we have another one here, 2 males. We use joiners if we need additional length. If we need to use 2 hoses, this is all modular with cam locks on either side to make a joiner. And we have what we call a candy cane. Now, we have done an episode of Aquatica TV specifically on these candy canes and the hose really, but they're an excellent way to ensure that your hose sits on your tank and doesn't fall off. One of the best pieces of equipment for a fish guy is a candy cane. Now, there's one last thing that we're going to use, and that is an IBC full of natural seawater. That's around the back of the van. Check it out. So this is our IBC with not quite 800 litres. because we're on a bit of a slope at the moment, it's actually more like 700 litres, but we've got heaps of natural seawater for the job. Now, of course, we collect our natural seawater from a very reliable source, which is south of where we operate from. It's on the Gold Coast. The water is really pristine and beautiful. So we've got this IBC with heaps of natural seawater, and we have another female cam lock on the bottom of this. So it's very easy for us to join our hose to the cam lock, our hose to the pump, and our pump to the tank with the candy cane on it. And then all we have to do is put power to the pump, and we're pumping water into the tank. So let's get it all set up and then we'll show you how we do it. So I'm going to put our pump just here. Now, I think we've got heaps of length with our hose, but I'm going to use 2 of our hoses anyway. So this grey one, I'm going to go into the IBC. Like so. The lid of the IBC is off. So now to the pump. So I'm going to use our joiner to the pump because, as I said before, the intake to the pump is male, as is this hose. We do have some hoses which are male-female, which means we don't need the joiner, but for now, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to close off this one and open up the valve on the IBC. All right, so our outlet to our hose, and the other end is going to go to our candy cane, and now we just have to go into the tank. So we have our valves open outside. I just opened the one that was near the pump. We've got it turned off here at the candy cane, and we've also got our power connected. Now I like to have the power cord or the extension cable to somewhere close to the tank. So I'm plugging in just here, so that it's very easy to start and stop as required, because today we're going to fill the tank and then we're going to fill the sump underneath, and then we'll turn on the return pump. So I'll open this up a little bit. I haven't turned the pump on yet, but I can hear the water flooding into the hose. Just give it a sec. All right, so now I'll turn on the pump. And here comes the water. And I start out quite slowly. If you go too fast at the start, it can splutter and create a mess. So we'll go slowly. And I should be able to open it up now. We're probably going to find that the water will be somewhat cloudy because of the new rock and particularly the new sand in the tank. But we'll give it a couple of minutes and let it fill up. Okay. So the water's just started trickling down the overflow, so I'll start filling up the sump. So sometimes the skimmers will actually float up when they're sitting in the sump and you're filling it, because it takes longer for the water to flow into the body of the skimmer than for the water to go up in the sump. So I normally just hold my hand on the skimmer just to hold it down, but that one's all good. So we've got water in the front and the rear left chamber. It's now going to flow into the rear right. And I generally overfill the sump a little bit. Of course, the water level in the sump is going to drop when we turn the pump on, and it pumps water up into the top section. All right, I'll turn it off there. I'll leave the hose where it is because we may need to put a little bit more water in, although I think we have adequately filled it. So now, this is the part that I always get a little bit nervous about. We're going to turn the return pump on and check for leaks. Now we have, of course, given this, the plumbing, a really good check over. I've opened up that gate valve. I've made sure the ball valve that's come off the return is closed. So we should be all good. So let's start by plugging in the return pump, which is this one. And we should see bubbles up the top here. That's what we want to see. Oh, this is a very strong return pump. So now we check for leaks. So you can see that our sump is actually sucking air, or pump is sucking air. So I'm going to put a little bit more water into the sump. Stop it there. So now we've filled our sump and we have overfilled it. We need to tune the overflow. You can hear it's making a lot of noise and there's a lot of bubbles in this section here. So I'm going to start by closing off the gate valve, and a system like this is best tuned over a period of time. So what I'll do is I'll just turn this a little bit and I'll come back in a minute and tune it again, and then another 5 minutes after that. And that way you give the overflow time to settle in between tuning it, and it just gives you the ability to fine tune it more easily. But now it's time to put away the hose. We've filled the tank and we're all done with our equipment. So I'm going to purge the hoses, but what I want to show you is exactly how much water we've used. So we'll go and have a look at the IBC and see how much is left. So our water line was on the 800 litres and now it's down here and it's around about 200 and probably 260 litres. So we've used 540 thereabouts litres of water, which is exactly what you'd expect for this Reefer 525. Fair bit of water for a good sized reef tank. So there you have it. We've filled up our Red Sea Reefer G2 525, and isn't it a thing of beauty? This tank has been filled with the best quality natural seawater. You saw exactly how we do this process and exactly how easy it is. And certainly using natural seawater pumped in from an IBC is one of the easiest ways you can fill your Red Sea Reefer. But that's it for today's episode of Gallery Aquatica TV. We'll bring you lots of exciting new content in the future. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cam the Fish Guy. Happy reefing. That's it for this week's episode of Gallery Aquatica TV. Don't forget to like and comment on all our videos and subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned to Gallery Aquatica TV for more exciting episodes to come. I'm Cam the Fish Guy. Happy reefing!